Hey there nation, and welcome to the show where we help you to play miniatures wargaming on a budget. It is I, Commander Cheapskate, and we are back with another edition of Commander Cheapskate Gamer Reviews, where we review various products related to the wargaming hobby. And on today's episode, we will review the Kislev Army Book for Warhammer Armies Project 9th Edition Warhammer Fantasy. We'll be taking a look at this product's army rules, their special characters, their magical items, as well as magic systems, their army lists, and provide our overall conclusion on this project. Now, for those of you guys who are unfamiliar with the Warhammer Armies Project, it is a blogger site that is established by Matthias Eliasson. And what he has actually done is he's actually made unofficial rules for 9th Edition Warhammer Fantasy. Not only has he done that, but he's also made 9th Edition rulebooks for all the armies in the previously released Warhammer Fantasy game before it was canceled by Games Workshop. So because of that, he's got our new edition army books for all those different armies. At the same time, Matthias Eliasson has also provided us with a bunch of different army books for different armies that were either discontinued or never really fully supported in the original Warhammer Fantasy game. So for example, Kislev, as this army that we'll be talking about today, was originally debuted as allies as part of the Empire army originally, so you actually could take some of the Kislev units into your Imperial armies. I believe it was Warhammer 4th edition that did that. And then Warhammer 5th edition, they actually came out as their own faction for a little while. But then of course, as the editions changed, the Kislev army of course was faded away and was no longer supported all the way into 8th edition, where the game was finally killed off. But now with this new 9th edition, we now have the Kislev Army Book, so we'll be going over this and talking about the various factors and different units and armies and special characters that are available in it. Now this video will be a little bit more of a deeper dive, so because of that I will be putting timestamps down below. You can look down in the description and you can click on whatever section appeals to you the most. So with that being said, let's get this review on a roll. Alright, so here we are on my desktop. As you can see, our Commander Cheapskate logo is here. So let's go ahead and pull up this PDF. And as you can see here, you can download this PDF absolutely for free from the Warhammer Armies Project, created by Elias Matthias's blogger site. And as you can see, we have some really cool looking artwork right over here right off the bat. For those of you guys who are not familiar with Kislev, Kislev is actually based around Eastern to Central Europe. Central to Eastern Europe during the Middle Ages is pretty much what they're kind of designed around. So we're talking about countries like Poland, for example. We're also talking about Hungary, as well as parts of Austria as well, Ukraine, those kind of places as well, leading all the way up to parts of Russia in some cases as well. And that's what the Kislev are actually supposed to represent. They're supposed to be representative of Eastern Europe. So they have a lot of Slavic culture based in this, so Poland especially, when you look at some of the way the units have actually created. The nice thing about this army is that this army actually was a playable faction. I believe it was in the 5th and 6th editions of Warhammer Fantasy, I believe, is when you actually saw this. You did see a little bit of Kislev units being used in the Empire army, especially during 3rd and 4th edition. The Winged Lancers, as you guys can see here, is primarily what they could use. They also had some characters who were also inspired by the Cossack peoples of Ukraine as well. They were like mounted archers, so that's why they're designed the way they are, with the painted horses and etc. and the wings in the back. So let's go ahead and take a look at this document. As you can see, another beautiful desktop publishing by Elias Matthiasson. I'm always impressed by his level of professionalism with these desktop publishings. And like I keep on saying all the time, if you didn't know any better, you could have swore this is actually an actual official GW product, just based on the professionalism of the desktop publishing. I mean, look at these borders that he has in the corners and stuff with the filigree on the work. It's just absolutely beautiful. So let's take a look at the contents real fast. So as you can see here, we have a list of everything. Now we're not really going to talk about so much about the Kislevites and their history too much. That's more of like a lore depth thing. But we're going to focus on are the army special rules as well as the bestiary for them. We'll also take a look at their special characters. We'll also look at their magic that they have, the lore of ice as well as the lore of hags. We'll also take a look at their magical items as well. And then finally we'll go over their army list and give you our overall impression of Kislev. And as you can see, it's kind of cool. Even he actually has the backwards ends too, which is part of the Cyrillic writing that we see in this part of the world too. So very, very cool, Matthias. That's very awesome. So let's go ahead and get started by talking about the army special rules. So like I see some more beautiful artwork right over there. That's really cool. Okay. So first of all, we have a rule called Kin of the Bear God. It says all models of this rule always reroll failed panic tests, which is kind of cool. Then we have Hate Chaos. All models of this rule have the hatred special rules against all units from the Warriors of Chaos, Demons of Chaos, and Beastmen, which makes sense because the Kislevites have always been on the front line. They're right between the border between the Empire as well as Chaos. So anytime Chaos wants to invade down south, they got to go through Kislev first. So it says Glorious Charge. If a unit with the majority of models having this special rule makes a successful charge and wins the subsequent combat but does not break the enemy, they may attempt to disengage from the fight by passing a leadership test. If successful, the unit will make a flee move away from the enemy. This does not cause panic to friendly units, and the enemy may not pursue them. After making their flee move, the unit will automatically reform. In addition, they cause fear on any turn that they charge. Oh, that is awesome. Really cool rule right there, which makes sense, because the Kislevites have always been known for their maneuverability, their ability for their horsemanship, their equestrian skills. They've been really known for in the lore. At the same time, you know, when you see a whole mass of winged lancers charging down upon you, enemy beware. Which is also interesting because the Polish winged lancers actually fought against, I believe it was Mongolian as well as Tartar forces back in the Middle Ages, and actually chased off an entire army using that tactic. So first of all, we have our commanders. We have our boyars, which are the lords of this region, as well as our hetmen. Our boyars have 4 movement, 6 weapon skill, 5 ballistic skill, 4 strength and toughness, 3 wounds, 6 initiative, 4 attacks, 9 leadership. The hetmen, which I believe is like the hero character, they have 4 movement, 5 weapon skill, ballistic skill, 4 strength and toughness, 2 wounds, 5 initiative, 3 attacks, 8 leadership. And they have the kin of the bear god, hates chaos, and stubborn special rules. Oh, that is awesome that they have stubborn, which makes sense because, you know, these are hardened people who are like militant orders of tribal peoples, and they, you know, they band together and they fight. So very, very cool right there. I think it's great that these guys have some really high initiative stats compared to most other human races. So that's actually kind of nice as well, giving them some backup on that one. Then we have Ice Witches, which is their wizards. So we have the Ice Witch. She has a movement of 4, 3 weapon skill, ballistic skill, strength and toughness, wounds, initiative, 1 attack, 8 leadership. And they have the Ice Maiden. Pretty much exactly the same stats, except they have 2 wounds and they have 7 leadership instead. An Ice Witch is a wizard that uses spells in the lore of ice. You also have kin of the bear god and hates chaos special rule for them. So very cool there. Then we have Hag Witches, which looks like something that's brand new to this, which is kind of cool because it looks like they're basing this on the legend of Baba Yaga. Baba Yaga was actually a Slavic mythological character from Slavic myths. She was a witch who actually rode around in a hut that had chicken legs, giant chicken legs that kind of took it everywhere, which is actually kind of neat because Baba Yaga could either be good or bad depending on the legend and what kind of lesson needed to be taught in that story. So looks like we have the Hag Mother. She has a movement of 4, 3 weapon skill, ballistic skill, strength, 4 toughness, 3 wounds, 3 initiative, 1 attack, 8 leadership. And then we have the Hag Witch, who's got 4 movement, 3 weapon skill, 3 ballistic skill, 3 strength and toughness, 2 wounds, 3 initiative, 1 attack, and 7 leadership. Hag Witch is a wizard that uses spells in the lore of hags. They have kin of the bear god as well as hate chaos and hag. The hags are generally distrusted in Kislev, and no one likes to be near them out of superstition. They may never be the army's general, and no unit may use their leadership. In addition, any unit joined by a hag witch suffers -1 to leadership as long as she is in the unit. So like I said, so that's like that double-edged sword aspect of the hags. Like I said, they could either be good or they can be ill, depending on the person that they're trying to either teach a lesson to or help out. It just kind of depends. So traditionally, it's kind of funny because when people say Baba Yaga, they immediately think of that film John Wick, because John Wick is known as Baba Yaga, but Baba Yaga is actually a witch character, which is actually kind of cool. All right, so moving on, we have Priest of Ursun. So High Priest has a weapon skill of movement of 4, weapon skill of 4, ballistic skill 3, 4 strength and toughness, 3 wounds, 4 initiative, 2 attacks, 9 leadership. It looks like the priest has exact same stats, except they have 1 less wound and 1 less leadership. So these guys look kind of interesting. They have kin of the bear god, hates chaos, growing fury. The priest chants fill his warriors with implacable, ferocious rage. Ferocious rage. The priests and any unit he joins are subject to frenzy. Does not apply to mounts. Priests of Ursun may channel power dice and dispel dice in the same manner as wizards. Prayers of Ursun. Priests of Ursun know the 3 bound prayers below. Prayers of Ursun are initiate bound spells, power level 3. Prayers are augment spells that target the priest Ursun and his unit. We have Unyielding Ursun. The priest rousing prayers tap deep into Kislevite national pride. The priest and his unit is stubborn until the start of the next friendly magic phase. Ursine Strength. The priest chants grant his warriors some of Ursune's strength. The priest and his unit may reroll failed rolls to wound and in close combat until the start of the next friendly magic phase. Very, very powerful. And Winter Sleep. Your prayers bring the deep sleep of winter upon your enemies. All enemy units in base contact with the priest have a -1 to their weapon skill and initiative, and additional -1 for each turn that the spell lasts. Minimum 1 remains in play. Very cool. So it looks like they're basing these guys off of Viking berserkers, it looks like, or Viking priests, anyways, berserker priests from that type period, because Vikings used to believe in bears, and so that's why they're called berserkers. It actually means bear shirt in Nordic, if I remember correctly. So that's kind of cool. Looks like they're bringing that tradition over to the Kislevites as well, which is kind of neat. Then we have Rangers. Looks like they have 4 movement, 4 weapon skill, 6 ballistic skill. So imagine what these guys do. 4 strength and toughness, 2 wounds, 5 initiative, 2 attacks, 8 leadership. They have Kin of the Bear God, hates chaos. They got Scout and Forest Strider. They have Heart Strike. Kislev Rangers often battle against large monsters that roam their native borders. They have grown particularly adept to felling such beasts with a single deadly arrow strike. Against monstrous infantry, monstrous beasts, and monsters, Rangers have the heroic killing blow. Special rule with their bow, though armor saves may be taken as normal. Dang, that could be really painful. Pathfinder. As the expert trackers that they are, Rangers sometimes lead a small contingent of friendly troops around the battlefield in order to attack the enemy from the rear. The Ranger and 1 friendly infantry unit may deploy together as ambushers. Oh dang. You could really screw up your opponent with this one, in my opinion. Yeah, I can imagine this guy coming in with a Ranger unit, another kind of unit of skirmishers or something, and just take apart monsters. Ooh, that is cool. Very, very cool. They have Kossars. So let's take a look at these guys. Kossars have weapon movements of 4, weapon skill, ballistic skill, strength and toughness of 3, 1 wound, 3 initiative, 1 attack, 7 leadership. The Dynastic, I believe is how you pronounce that. I'm sorry if I mispronounce any Slavic words, so any of my Slavic viewers out there, I do apologize for mispronunciations. Looks like they have the exact same stat line, except they have 2 attacks. They have Kid of the Bear God, hates chaos, steady in the ranks. Units with the steady in the ranks special rule may stand and shoot as a charge reaction, even if the enemy is within their moving characteristics. In addition, the Kossars do not suffer the normal 1 penalty on their hit rolls for firing at a charging enemy. Very cool. I wonder if these guys are supposed to be like the Cossacks. The Cossacks were actually nomadic peoples throughout the Slavic nations. They were like militant nomadic groups, and they actually traveled from horseback and stuff. Very fierce fighters as well. So I wonder if that's the same thing. They have Gospodar Militia. These guys have movement 4, 3 weapon skill, ballistic skill, strength and toughness, 1 wound, 3 initiative, 1 attack, 7 leadership. Their sergeants have the exact same stats, but 1 additional attack. Their infantry, they have Kin of the Bear God and hates chaos. So I imagine these are like your normal just soldiers, I guess. Then we have Druzhina, I believe is how you pronounce that. Druzhina have movement 4, weapon skill, ballistic skill, strength and toughness of 3, 1 wound, 3 initiative, 1 attack, 7 leadership. They have the Devor, which is, I believe, their champion. They looks like they have the exact same stats, 1 additional attack. They're cavalry, and they have Kin of the Bear God and hates chaos as well. So I wonder if these are like your medium medium cavalry guys. That's what looks like these guys are. So very, very cool as well. Druzhina, I believe how you pronounce that. Then we have the Winged Lancers. All right. Winged Lancers are kind of cool. I remember these guys from Warhammer 4th edition. They were a unit you could take in the Empire Army, and if I remember correctly, they were also in the 6th edition as well. And there were actually ranks of these guys. They're called Winged Lancers because they have these poles on their back with feathers on them. So we have Winged Lancer, movement 4, weapon skill 4, 3 strength, 3 ballistic skill, strength, toughness, 1 wound, 3 initiative, 1 attack, 8 leadership. The Rotomaster, which is their champion, looks like has exact same stats but 1 additional attack. They ride war horses. They have the cavalry type, special rules, Kin of the Bear God, hates chaos, and they have that glorious charge rule, so that they can bring on fear if they need to. They charge en masse. Very, very cool. They have Ungol Horse Archers. Let's see here. They have, these are like your light cavalry guys. I remember these guys from Warhammer 4th edition. They have 4 movement, 3 weapon skill, 4 ballistic skill, 3 strength toughness, 1 wound, 3 initiative, 1 attack, 7 leadership. The Horsemaster's got the exact same stats except better ballistic skill. They're mounted war horses. They have Kin of the Bear God, hate chaos, and fast cavalry. So yeah, these guys are your good skirmishers. They run around, they shoot at people with their bows. And they're definitely based on the Cossacks. See, they got the top knot hairstyle going on. Then we have Criminal Guard. So I believe this is a new unit, I think. The Criminal Guard, they got 4 weapon skill, 4 movement, 4 weapon skill, 3 ballistic skill, 4 strength, 3 toughness, 1 wound, 3 initiative, 1 attack, 8 leadership. The Guard Master's got the exact same stats but 2 attacks. Infantry, they got Kin of the Bear God, hates chaos, and stubborn. So I imagine it's like your elite heavy infantry. That's what these guys are. Then we have the Griffin Legion. Alright, so these guys look like they're a little bit more, the most famed regiment of Winged Lancers are the Griffin Legion. So these are supposed to be like your elite Winged Lancers. Yeah, and the reason why is because I think it's because the difference is because they have that war paint on their horses, like some of the other nations. I believe there's the Polish, who had that, or maybe the Romanians, who painted their war horses like that. So we have a Legionnaire, 4 movement, 4 weapon skill, 3 ballistic skill, 4 strength, 3 toughness, 1 wound, 4 initiative, 1 attack, 8 leadership. The Rotomaster has exact same stats with 2 attacks, mounted on a warhorse. They have Kin of the Bear God, hates chaos, immunity to psychology, and glorious charge. So yeah, these are the elite versions of the Winged Masters. Then we have Strelesti, I believe is how you pronounce it. Strelesti, I believe is how you pronounce that. So looks like these guys have 4 weapon movement, 4 weapon skill, 3 ballistic skill, 3 strength and toughness, 1 wound, 3 initiative, 1 attack, 8 leadership. Looks like they got the exact same stats as the Uradnik, I believe is how you pronounce that. Looks like their champion has the exact same stats, only 1 additional attack. They have Kin of the Bear God, hates chaos, steady aim. By resting the musket on the crook of the halberd, the Strelsti counts as firing from short range at targets within 12 inches rather than 4. Alright, so these guys look like your handgunner units. So it looks like they come with halberds too. Oof! Strength 4 shooting attacks with strength 4 close combat attacks. That is beast mode. That is really cool. I like that. Then we have the Chekist. The Chekist looks like these guys have movement 4, weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 4, 3 strength and toughness, 1 wound, 3 initiative, 1 attack, 8 leadership. The officers got the exact same stats but 1 additional ballistic skill. Mount on war horses. They got cavalry rules. Kin of the Bear God, hates chaos, and fast cavalry. It says fight or die. All friendly units within 6 inches of a unit of Chekist may roll 3d6 for their break tests and discard the highest result. If a friendly unit flees within 12 inches of a unit of Chekist, they may choose to open fire on that unit with their pistols. If they manage to cause a casualty, the unit will rally immediately after making their flee move. Alright, so these guys sound like a little bit like commissars from Soviet Russia. Yeah, it says their Chekists have no official structured organization to speak of, say their devotion and duty to the Tsarina herself. Yeah. These are like political troops, it sounds like. So they, you fight for the empire, or or else. So pretty interesting. It looks like they sound like they have pistols, which would be kind of neat. Then we have the Brotherhood of the Bear. Brotherhood of the Bear are Ranger Templars. They got 4 movement, 4 weapon skill, 3 ballistic skill, strength and toughness, 1 wound, 4 initiative, 1 attack, 8 leadership. The Preceptor has the exact same stats except for 2 attacks. They ride on more horses. They got Kin of the Bear God, hates chaos, fast cavalry, striders, and ambushers. So it sounds like these guys are like your scouting, advanced scouts type. So pretty cool there. Got some pretty good stats. They're probably like elite fast cavalry units. Then we have Siberian Hunters. So as you can see, there's Siberia, kind of like in Russia today, the wilderness of Russia. The Hunters got 4 movement, 3 weapon skill, 4 ballistic skill, 3 strength toughness, 1 wound, 3 initiative, 1 attack, 7 leadership. Hunt Masters got 1 additional ballistic skill. Type is infantry. They have Kin of the Bear God, hates chaos, 4 striders, skirmishers, and scouts. Trappers. Siberian Hunters are excellent trappers, using their skill to catch animals in the wild and cause nasty surprises for the enemy on the battlefield. After deployment, but before the start of the battle, any unit of Siberian Hunters may elect to put traps up to D3 terrain features, such as woods or rock formations. If an enemy unit enter or are already in one of these terrain features, roll D6. On a 2-up, the trap is sprung. The enemy takes D6 strength 3 hits with the armor piercing rule. Each trap will only work once. Very, very cool. Awesome about that one. So yeah, I could definitely see you taking those rangers that can have heroic killing blow their shots, put them in a unit of Siberian Hunters. You could probably cause some damage with that. Very, very cool. Then we have was Kvasniks. So looks like these guys are names. So Kvasniks, movement 4, 3 weapon skill, ballistic skill, strength, 4 toughness. Nice. 1 wound, 2 initiative, 1 attack, 7 leadership, infantry. They have Kin of the Bear God, hates chaos, and skirmisher special rule. And we have the Drunken Stupor. At the start of the Kislev turn, roll a d6 for each unit of Kvasniks and insult the table below. What the Kvasniks are subject to stupidity for this turn. Yeah, whatever. The Kvasniks act as normal this turn. What did you call my mother? The Kvasniks are subject to frenzy this turn. Kvasnik, as these weapons are called by the Kislevites, consist of an old rag or a piece of cloth stuck into a bottle filled with kvass. The rag is then set off for Molotov cocktails. Nice. They have range of 6 inches, 4 strength, quick to fire, flaming attack, ignores armor saves. So these guys are basically, it sound like they're a bunch of drunken dudes running around throwing Molotov cocktails at people. That sounds amazing. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm really impressed with that. That is pretty cool. The Kvasniks. Then we have Droyaska, I believe is how you pronounce that. So it means Blade Master. Oh, very cool. So they have movement 4, weapon skill 5, 4 ballistic skill, 3 strength and toughness, 1 wound, 5 initiative, 2 attacks, 8 leadership. They are Kin of the Bear God, hates chaos, skirmishers, and killing blow. Very cool. Especially since they're skirmishers. These guys will make really good flank protecting units if they have killing blow. So very, very cool. And then we have the War Wagon. Alright, so we have these again. So War Wagon's got a movement strength of 5, toughness of 5, 6 wounds. Cruise gives your basic human type. Chariot armor with a 2-up armor save. Kin of the Bear God, hates chaos, living target, large target, mobile fortress. At the start of any plays, the war wagon may elect to fortify itself by releasing the horses. Remove these from the unit, keeping only the base of the war wagon. If they choose to do so, the war wagon cannot move for the rest of the game and will be unbreakable. For purposes of shooting, the crew can fire all around. Alright, so back in the day in the 4th edition of Warhammer, you actually had a war wagon, is what they called it. It looked like a tower with wheels, and you had 2 horses pulling it. So it looks like this is something like that from the 4th edition Warhammer Fantasy, except that it looks like you could actually make it into a fortification if you want to, which would be kind of cool. So anything that has, like, I imagine building damage perks would be good to use against a war wagon. But I'll have to see what kind of weapons it has to see if it'd be worth it. Then we have the Uragan Cannon. Toughness of 7, 3 wounds. Crew's got typical human stats. Kin of the Bear God, hates chaos. Uragan Cannon fires a 24-inch range, strength 5, multiple shots, d6 plus artillery die roll, armor piercing 1. To fire the gun, nominate a visible target to determine how many shots are fired. To do this, roll d6 and the artillery dice. The result is the number of shots fired. If a misfire is rolled, roll immediately on the black powder misfire table. If firing is completed without a misfire, the target is within range. Roll to hit with all shots as normal using the ballistic skill of the crew. Very cool. Kind of like a smaller version of a Hellblaster volley gun. Yeah, our organ cannon. Our organ gun like the dwarves have. Very cool. Then we have a bear pack. So we have bear. Movement 6, 4 weapon skill, 0 ballistic skill, obviously. 5 strength, 4 toughness, 3 wounds, 3 initiative, 3 attacks, 6 leadership. The bear tamer. Basically human stats, except they have 1 up for their strength, so strength 4. They're monstrous beef with infantry. They have Kin of the Bear God, hates chaos, monsters and handlers, special rule, natural armor 5+ for the bear only. Fury of Ursun. The ferocity of the bears is such that should a unit fighting them break, they always pursue. Oh, very cool there. It's a very, very deadly as well. That's pretty cool. I like that they're bringing the bears back. Then we have the Sons of Ursun. Let's see, these guys have movement 4, weapon skill 4, 3 ballistic skill, 4 strength, 3 toughness, 1 wound, 4 initiative, 1 attack, 8 leadership. The Usal, I believe how you pronounce that. Looks like they got the exact same stats, but +1 attack. And they ride bears. What? They got movement 6, 4 weapon skill, 5 strength, 4 toughness, 3 wounds, 3 initiative, 3 attack, 6 leadership. Monstrous cavalry. Kin of the Bear God, hates chaos, natural armor 6 up, Fury of Ursun. Okay, that's it. That is the illest right there. Can you imagine some dude riding a armored polar bear? It's like something out of the Golden Compass. That's awesome. Very, very cool there. Then we have the we have armored war bears too. Okay, so never mind. So the armored war bears got 6 movement, 5 weapon skills, 6 strength, 5 toughness, 5 wounds, 3 initiative, 5 attacks, 6 leadership. We have a bear tamer, 4 movement, 3 weapon skill, 3 ballistic skill, 4 strength, 3 toughness, 1 wound, 3 initiative, 1 attack, 7 leadership. It is a monster with a bear tamer riding it. Special rules: Kin of the Bear God, hates chaos, monsters and handlers, natural armor 5+, Fury of Ursun, bear hug. When fighting infantry, cavalry, and war beasts, the war bear can only choose to forgo its normal attacks in favor of making 1 special attack. If this attack hits and wounds, the enemy is killed outright with no saves possible. Beautiful. Challenge. Use this in a challenge. Oh wait, there's no character there. Never mind, you can't use it in a challenge, but still. Very, very cool. Definitely Golden Compass like. Then we have Great Bears. So this is a war beast. It's monstrous beast rather. It's got 6 movement, 4 weapon skill, 5 strength and toughness, 3 wounds, 3 initiative, 3 attacks, 6 leadership, natural armor 6 up, Fury of the Ursun. Hawks of Miska. They have they fly. 4 weapon skill, 2 strength, 2 toughness, 5 wounds, 5 initiative, 5 attacks, 5 leadership, fly. Blessings of Miska. The enchantment that Miska, the slaughterer, blessed them with, survives to this day. The Hawks of Miska have a magic resistance 1 and a ward save a 6-up special rule. Really good. I can see you using these as swarms, especially if you want to like target enemy units. Very cool there. And with that being said, it looks like that takes us directly to the special characters. So we will come back and talk about those guys here in a second. Alright, so now we're back with the special characters, and first off is Boris Ursus, the Red Tsar. Now, if I remember correctly, I believe this special character was released in the 6th edition Warhammer Fantasy, I believe, when Kislev was its own independent force. So let's talk about this guy real quick. So Boris Ursus got 4 movement, 6 weapon skill, 3 ballistic skill, 5 strength, 4 toughness. Oof. That's a hardy dude. 3 wounds, 5 initiative, 4 attacks, 10 leadership. Rides Erskine, which is a bear, I imagine. 6 movement, 5 weapon skill, 6 strength, 5 toughness, 3 wounds, 4 initiatives, 4 attacks, 7 leadership. Monstrous Cavalry, special character. They got Kin of the Bear God, hates chaos, stubborn. Oh, nice. Natural armor 6 up, fear of Ursun, mark of the Bear God. If Boris Boka is a general of your army, Boris Borka. I thought it was Boris Ursus. Anyways. The any units of Kossars present in the army may be designated Mark of the Bear God at a cost of 1 point per model. Models of the Mark of the Bear God gain the Devastating Charge special rule. Oof, deadly. He's got Shard Blade, which is a magic weapon. The Shard Blade, it gives the wielder +2 strength. Any models who suffer a wound after saving throws, etc., must take an immediate toughness test. If this test is failed, they suffer additional D3 wounds with no armor or weight saves powerful. That is brutal. That is awesome. Okay, Armor of Ursun. Heavy armor. For each hit caused by their enemies in close combat, the wearer may make an additional attack back after his enemy's attacks have been resolved, and assuming he's still alive. He may make these bonus attacks even as already attacked that phase. Oh, beast mode. This guy would be cool for killing characters. Can you imagine you put him like in a unit of bear riders, those armored bear riders? Oh, that'd be devastating. Then we have Tsarina Katerin. Oh, the Ice Queen, Bringer of Winter. Yeah, she's definitely a special character. If I remember correctly, she is also the leader of Kislev as well. She's the queen of these people. And I think she's actually kind of, I believe she's also modeled after the White Queen character of mythology, of fairy tales. The White Queen was the one who had powers associated with winter. She could make ice and snowstorms and stuff like that. Frozen, the Disney cartoon Frozen, we all know that movie. That's actually a child version, I believe, of this character, of that same legend, except it's more positive, because I believe in the original Ice Queen story, she's a villain, I believe, in that fairy tale, or becomes a villain because of the way people are afraid of her. But yeah, she was available in the 4th edition of Warhammer Fantasy. She had the lore of ice. That was her spells that she actually had. So let's take a look what she has here. So Tsarina Katerin has got movement 4, weapon skill 4, 3 ballistic skill, 3 strength, toughness, 3 wounds, 4 initiative, 3 attacks, 10 leadership. Rides on Warhorse. She's got Kin of the Bear God, hates chaos, and lore master, lore of ice. Tsarina Katerin is a level 4 wizard who uses spells in lore of ice, beloved of Kislev. The people of Kislev are utterly devoted to the Tsarina and would gladly lay down their lives for her. Any Kislevite unit joined by the Tsarina becomes stubborn, and all Kislevite units within 12 inches of the Tsarina may be rolled failed psychology tests. Very, very cool there. They have Protectors of the Khan Queen. If the Tsarina joins a unit of Griffin Legion, the unit will roll 3d6 for all their break tests and disguise the hardest result. Very cool. Then we have Fearfrost, her sword. Fearfrost gains the Tsarina the Killing Blow and ignores armor save special rules and the Crystal Cloak. The Crystal Cloak grants the Tsarina the Ward Save 4 plus special rule. In addition, all attacks directed against the Tsarina in close combat suffer a -1 to both to hit and to wound dice. That's pretty good. That's pretty awesome right there. Then we have Tsar Zoltan, the bitter ruler of Prague. So I don't know if this guy was a character from 6th edition or not. But let's take a look at his stats. He's got 4 movement, 6 weapon skill, 5 ballistic skill, 4 strength and toughness, 6 wounds. Guy's definitely not going to die. 5 initiative, 4 attacks, 9 leadership. Kin of the Bear God and immune to psychology. Bitter hatred. Sultan is subject to hatred. When fighting models from Warriors of Chaos, Demons of Chaos, or Beastmen, Tsar Sultan may reroll all failed to hit its rolls to hit, not just the first turn. He must always issue a challenge to any character unit. If challenged by a Chaos character, he must accept. When fighting against Chaos characters and challenged, Zoltan gains a +1 to his strength bonus. Wow, strength 5. That's pretty good. He's got the Black Blade. Emits black clouds around its wielder, giving enemies -1 to hit him in close combat. In addition, it increases Zoltan's strength by +1. Wow. So he's got like 6 strength already, especially if he's fighting against Chaos. Then he's got the Armor Prague. Heavy armor. The Armor Prague gives Zoltan +1 to his toughness, so now he's toughness 5. Okay, this dude sounds pretty cool. I like the 6 wounds, the 5 strength, the 5 toughness, 6 strength, because it gets someone from Chaos. Very, very cool. Then we have Baba Yaga. Here we go. This is the mythological character I was talking about. The Crone of the Forest. She's got 4 movement, 4 weapon skill, 3 ballistic skill, 4 strength and toughness, 3 wounds, 4 initiative, 1 attack, 9 leadership, and the hut. See, I told you guys, she rode around in a hut, a chicken-legged hut. All right. Movement 7, 4 weapon skill, 6 strength, 6 toughness, 6 wounds, 1 initiative, 3 attacks. Very cool. She's got infantry, special character, chicken-legged hut's a monster. Baba Yaga may be carried into battle by her magical cottage. Oh, so it looks like it might be additional. Level 4 wizard who uses the spells and lore of hags. She's got special rules. Kin to the Bear God, hates chaos, fear, and hag. Special rules. Impact hits D6, flammable, and unbreakable. Yeah, I guess it would be flammable since it's a hut. Her weapons are Staff of the Forest. The Staff of the Forest allows Baba Yaga to reroll her casting attempts for any spell. Oh, wow. That's pretty good, especially like if you roll poorly. That's cool. Amulet of the Raven. The Amulet of the Raven gives Baba Yaga the Ward Save 5-up special rule. In addition, any models in base contact with the start of combat must first pass a leadership test. If failed, they may not attack this phase. Oh, very, very cool. Baba Yaga. They have Miska the Slaughterer, Khan Queen of Kislev. So this is the lady who actually bestowed, what you call it, the Hawks of Miska. She's got 4 movement, 6 weapon skill, 3 ballistic skill, 4 strength and toughness, 3 wounds, 6 initiative, 4 attacks, 9 leadership. Wow, pretty good combat score. She's got a war sled, 5 strength, 5 toughness, 4 wounds, and it's drawn by bears. Okay, yeah, okay, that's awesome. I guess, okay. Looks like she's supposed to be the White Queen. Yeah, the Ice Khan Queen of Kislev. Let's see here. She's got infantry special rule. She's got a roar sled pulled by 2 bears. Level 3 wizard. She uses spell from Lord of Ice. She's got Kin of the Bear God, hates chaos, and it's got the frenzy special rule. She's got Fear Frost, which is Zarina Katarin's weapon. Because she's like, I believe she was the first Khan Queen is what she was. And then she's got the Cloak of the Great Bear. Medium armor for each successful unsaved wound caused by her in close combat. She may make an additional attack immediately. These attacks do not generate further attacks. Oh man, very, very brutal there. Very cool character. I can imagine that too, like this lady running in on on a war sled pulled by bears. That's devastating. Then we have Igor the Terrible, Tyrant Tsar of Kislev. Okay, I think it's supposed to be based on Ivan the Terrible, or Ivan the Terrible. I believe it's Ivan the Fourth, I believe. He's got 4 movement, 6 weapon skill, 5 ballistic skill, 4 strength and toughness, 3 wounds, 6 initiative, 4 attacks, 9 leadership. He's got the Kin of the Bear God as well as Hatred special rules, Tyrant special rule. Igor the Terrible is known for the most evil Tsar in Kislev's history, and his troops feared him as much, if not more, than their enemy. Igor has the Fight or Die special rule, but affects all friendly users within 12 inches rather than normal 6. Oh wow, very deadly. We have Blood Edge. All enemy models in 6 inch of Igor must take a wound on a 6. Ignores armor saves at the start of the magic phase as small wounds and bleeding cuts appear in their flesh. Armor of the Hoarfrost. Heavy armor. This armor gives the wearer the magic resistance 1 and more to save 6-up special rule. Yeah, that's okay. And then Dagger of Black Ice. When Igor slaughters his last wound in close combat, roll a d6 on a roll of 4 up. The wound is instead scored against the model that struck the blow. Very, very cool. Alright, pretty deadly there. Then we have Tordemir Lubov Asian, Captain of the Griffin Legion. Alright, so this looks like he's like a leader of that elite unit we were talking about earlier. He's got 4 movement, 6 weapon skill, 5 ballistic skill, 4 strength, 4 toughness, 2 wounds, 5 initiative, 3 attacks, 8 leadership. And it looks like he rides a horse named Seraphima, it looks like. Some kind of special horse, it looks like. It's got 8 movement, 3 weapon skill, 3 strength, toughness, 1 wound, 3 initiative, 1 attack, 5 leadership. Special character, Cavalry. Kin of the Bear God, hates chaos, immunity, psychology, glorious charge. Captain of the Griffin Legion. The units of Griffin Legion may be taken as corps instead of special. Nice. If Tormadir is included in your army. In addition, any Griffin Legion unit that Tormadir joins is stubborn, as his men are so inspired by the leader's presence that they fight on against any odds. He's got the Griffin Lance. It's a wield against heroic killing blow. Oh dang. Armor piercing 1 special when he charges. Very nice. And then Griffin Wing Talisman. The Griffin Wing gives Tormadir the War Save 5-up special rule. In addition, any unit led by him automatically passes any leadership test to disengage from combat with a glorious charge special rule. Oh, very cool. I can imagine putting this guy in the same unit with as a champion to protect Zarina Katarina. That would actually be really cool, the combination right there. Then we have Stefan Razin, clan chief of the Ungles. He's got movement 4, weapon skill 5, 6 ballistic skill, 4 strength and toughness, 2 wounds, 6 initiative, 3 attacks, 8 leadership. Rides a warhorse. Special rules are Kin of the Bear God, hates chaos, fast cavalry strider. Lucky, Stefan Rossin is an unbelievably lucky man. He is therefore allowed to reroll any dice roll he makes. Oh wow. He may make up to 3 rerolls during the battle. Okay, so only 3 times. Still, pretty good. He's got the Silver Shard, which is a magic weapon. Bow, any shot that hits is multiplied into D6 hits. Oof, that is brutal. Very, very powerful there. Then we have Ilya of Morova. the Great Bear. Looks like he's got movement 4, 5 weapon skill, 6 ballistic skill, 5 strength and toughness, 2 wounds, 5 initiative, 3 attacks, 8 leadership. Looks like he's got the infantry special character role, kin to the bear god, hates chaos, scout, trapper, heart strike, strength of the Great Bear. Ilya may forfeit his normal attacks in favor of doing a single massive blow with his axe. If this attack hits and wounds, it causes D3 plus 1 wound, which ignores armor saves. Pretty dude. And then hugely resilient. Whenever Ilya is reduced to 0 wounds, while a D6 on a 1 to 3 is killed as normal. But on a 4 through 6, the fact that Ilya should be dead does not register in his battle-craved mind, and he completely ignores the injury. Return Ilya to 1 wound. This rule has no effect against attacks that kill him outright. Oh man, very, very brutal. Looks like he's a really tough dude. Ilya Murova. That name sounds familiar. I'm not sure where it comes from though. I don't know. Oh wait, no. Okay, never mind. I'm thinking of a totally different character. I was thinking that this is the character who was Ulrika's father. Ulrika is the vampire character that was in love with Felix Jaeger, the character of old. But I totally got the wrong basis. That's not exactly who he is. So never mind. All right. So it looks like that makes up the special characters. So with the special characters over with, we're going to talk about their magic as well as magic items. Alright, so let's go and talk about the magic and magic items available to Kislev. So we have the Lore of Ice. We have Numbing Cold as a lore attribute. It says, if a spell from the Lore of Ice is successfully cast on an enemy unit, the unit suffers -1 to their weapon skill and ballistic skill until the start of the next of the caster's next magic phase. That's a pretty useful ability, I'm not gonna lie, especially if you're going against horde-like armies like Skaven or like or goblins. It could really help you out there. It also can bring down chaos units down to your level to fight easier, so that's cool. We have Shard Storm, which is a signature spell cast at 7+. Shard Storm is a magic missile with a range of 24 inches and causes 2d6 strength 3 hits. The caster could choose to increase the strength of this attack to strength 4 and the range of it to 36. If so, the casting value is increased to 13+. That's a pretty fair spell. That's pretty good. Then we have Spell 1, Form of the Frost Fiend, 6+. Remains in play. Form of the Frost Fiend is an augment spell that may be cast on the wizard herself as long as she is on foot. While active, she gains the Fly and Terror special rules, +2 strength, +2 toughness, and +3 attacks. Woo! The effects of all magic items are ignored for the duration of this spell, as they are transmogrified along with the caster. While this is in this form, she follows all the rules for monstrous beasts. That is pretty deadly. I can see you actually using this, especially if it's a dismounted fighter, especially if like you have like a last-ditch effort, you got to fight or something, and you need some additional combat oomph. Then we have Ice Armor, cast on 6 up. Ice Armor's augment spell with a range of 12 inches. The unit adds +2 to their armor saves. Nice. Until the beginning of the next caster's magic phase. However, it has no effect against flaming attacks. Oh, wow. That's unfortunate. The reason why I say that is because there's a lot of flaming attacks in Warhammer. The caster can choose to target all from the units within 12 inches. If she does so, the casting value is increased to 12+. Alright, so we have Freezing Blast, cast on 7 up. Freezing Blast is a hex spell with a range of 24 inches. Until the start of the caster's next turn, the target counts as moving through dangerous terrain, regardless of they move or not. If the unit is standing in a water feature at this time, they are frozen solid and cannot move for the rest of the game, unless they have or are attacked by flaming attacks. Ah, that's another handicap too, because there's a lot of flaming attacks in Warhammer. So we have Midwinter's Kiss, cast at 10+, direct damage spell. Place the Phlegm template with the point touching the base of the caster. Models touched by the template takes a strength 5 hit, which ignores armor saves. Very nice. The spell can be cast in close combat as well, in which case it causes 2d6 hits. Very, very powerful. Then we have the Gift of the Winter Wind, cast on a 13+. Direct damage spell with a range of 18 inches. The target unit must pass a leadership test using 3d6 and using the 2 highest dice. If failed, each model in the unit must take a strength test or be moved as a casualty with no armor saves allowed. The caster can choose to increase the range of the spell to 36 inches. If she does so, the casting value is decreased to 16+. That's a pretty decent spell, I will admit, but against chaos units though, maybe not so great, because most chaos units have like strength 4 in some cases, like Beastmen for example. Chaos Warriors definitely. Demons, this might be actually useful against demons. It could be useful against marauders and stuff like that, and lesser Beastmen, but against like their normal core guys, not so much. Then we have Invocation of the Ice Storm, cast on a 15+. Hex spell with a range of 24 inches. The caster nominates a point on the battlefield, roll an artillery dice, and double the result. This is the distance in inches measured from the nominated point that the ice storm affects. If a misfire is rolled, it affects the entire battlefield. Until the start of the caster's next magic phase, all units caught in the ice storm suffer -2 to hit with missile weapons, and units that do not fire using ballistics can only fire with a 4+ on the d6. In addition, all units inside the radius of the ice storm suffer 2d6 strength 2 hits. I can see you using this against shooting heavy armies, like for example dwarf gunline lists. This would be useful against wood elves. Not so much against chaos though, because chaos doesn't really do any shooting, so not really anyways. So it's kind of a mixed bag. Lore of Ice, kind of a mixed bag. I mean, there's some cool stuff in here, but against chaos forces, which these guys narratively go up against, not so much. So let's take a look at the second lore, the Lore of Hags. It says Curse, lore attribute. If a spell from Lore of Hags is successfully cast on an enemy unit, the unit suffer must reroll 6s when rolling to hit until the start of the caster's next magic phase. That's okay. I mean, there's not very many 6s ever rolled, so okay. We have Curse of Misfortune, signature spell, 9+. Remains in play. Curse of Misfortune is a hex spell with a range of 18 inches. The target fails all dangerous terrain tests on a 1 of 2 instead of just 1. Suffer -1 to hit in close combat and with missile weapons. And in the case of characters, no unit may use their leadership. Okay, that is pretty good. That's a lot for a signature spell. Oof. The caster can choose to increase the range of the spell to 36 inches. If she does so, the casting value is increased to 12+. Okay, that is okay. I thought it was just the dangerous terrain test. Like, okay, that's nothing much, but -1 to hit as well as no leadership. That is a powerful combination. Really good against chaos, because chaos has some pretty decent leadership in some of their units. So the first spell is called Fortune Told, cast in a 5+. It's an augment spell that may be cast on the wizard herself until the start of the caster's next magic phase. All models the same unit as the hag may reroll failed rolls to hit in close combat and with missile weapons. Oh, nice. And again, the ward 6+ save roll. Okay, that's pretty good. Then we have Form of the Ancient Widow, 6+. Remains in play. Form of the Ancient Widow is an augment spell that may be cast on the wizard herself. While active, she gains a terror, oh nice, and armor piercing 1, special rules, 3 strength, 2 toughness, and 3 attacks. The effects of all magic items are ignored for the duration of this spell. While in this form, she follows the rules of monstrous beasts. That could be, like I said before, that could be really good to use in the last ditch effort if you had to against your opponent. Then we have Summon Spirits, cast at a 7+. Magic missile with a range of 24 inches, causes 3d6 strength 2 armor piercing 1 hits. The caster can choose to increase the strength of the spell to 3, and the range of the spell to 36 inches. If she does so, the casting value is increased to 13+. It's alright. Then we have Curse Pledge, cast at 9+. Hex spell, the range of 24 inches. You may force the unit to do one of the following: make a normal move, including marching and reforming, or shoot with their missile weapons at a friendly target. If the unit refuses to do either of these things, each model in it suffers a strength 4 hit. The caster can choose to increase the range of the spell to 48 inches. If she does so, casting value is increased to 12 inches. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm not sure about whistle weapons against chaos units though, but definitely about the moving and reforming and stuff like that. That could really mess with your opponent hardcore. That is pretty cool. I can see this being useful against wood elves as well as any shooting heavy army, so this could be pretty cool. Then we have the Curse of Sickness, cast on 11+, direct damage spell with a range of 18 inches. Place a small template anywhere within 18 inches, it scatters d6. Models touched by the template must take a toughness test or suffer 1 wound, which ignores armor saves. The caster could choose to increase the power of the spell to use a large template instead. If she does so, the casting value is increased to 14+. The template scatters 2d6 rather than a d6. That's kind of a mixed bag right there. The scattering effect is what really messes it up. And chaos units usually have pretty high toughness. Beastmen, toughness 4. Chaos warriors, toughness 4. Marauders, they're like normal humans. I guess some of the lesser beastmen are okay too. Some demons mainly toughness 3, so it could be some kind of cool thing to see. Although it would be kind of funny to see Nurgle units dying from the Curse of Sickness, though. That just spells irony all over it. Then we have the Haggis Curse, cast on a 12+. Remains in play. Haggis Curse is a hex spell with a range of 18 inches. The first turn the spell is active, the target unit suffers -1 to their weapon skill, ballistic skill, initiative. The second, they suffer -1 to their strength and toughness. Oof. The third, -2 to their movement leadership. On the fourth turn, they have become too weak to fight and may not attack or move voluntarily for the rest of the game. Oh, snap. Each effect is permanent, even after the spell has been dispelled, and any further times the spell is cast, it starts off where it was when dispelled. The caster can choose to increase the range of the spell at 36 inches. If she does so, the casting value is increased to 15 plus. Wow, that could be really brutal. Especially, can you imagine if you get like overwhelming power or something like that when you cast that spell? Pretty cool. All right. So let's talk about their magic items real quick. We have the Heirlooms of Kislev. We have the Holy Axe of Miska, 65 points. Magic weapons requires 2 hands. The Holy Axe of Miska gives the wielder +2 strength. In addition, the multiple D3 wounds special rule. Pretty powerful for 65 points. Then we have the Pistols of Prince Boydinov, 25 points. Magic weapon. Hitman or Boyar only may use those. So let's see, here's Brace of Pistols. All shots fired hit automatically. Oof. And count as magical attacks. Oof. In addition, they may reroll failed rules of wound. Oh, that is cool. Okay, I dig that. We have the Armor of Alexander for 65 points. Magic armor, heavy armor, and shield. The Wearer of Alexander gives the wearer the ward 5-up ward save special rule. If either armor save or ward save is made, the opponent's weapon is frozen and broken on a roll of 5+ or on a d6. This only affects magical weapons. All right, that's a pretty decent. That's a pretty fair. That's a fair item. Ice armor of Jekaterina. 35 points, magic armor, ice witches and ice maidens only. This armor gives the wearer a 1-up armor save, which cannot be improved by any means. So put your mage on their ice mage on foot. The armor save never falls below 4+. Oh, nice. Even if the opponent's strength or magic weapon reduce it to less. If the save ever fails, the armor is destroyed. Wizards can wear the ice armor without affecting their ability to cast spells. Then we have Yakov's Kvass, 25 points. Which is, I guess, the alcoholic drink. 1 use only. The Kvass may be distributed to 1 unit joined by the character with Yakov's Kvass at the start of any turn. Roll a d6 and consult the chart below. Stupidity for the rest of the game. Frenzy for the rest of the game. Hatred for the rest of the game. Okay, pretty cool. Then we have the Apple of Kislev for 40 points. Enchanted item, Hitman or Boyar only. The Apple of Kislev increases leadership of the character owner to 10. In addition, the unit led by the character carrying the apple may reroll any leadership test. That's not bad for 40 points. That's pretty good. Boots of 7 leagues for 25. Model on foot only. These boots increase the wearer's movement to 10 inches. In addition, he may move over any terrain featuring units and never have to test for dangerous terrain. I don't know what you'd use this for. Oh, your rangers, I guess. If you have your rangers, those monster killing assassins, that could be useful for that guy if they can take magical items. Then we have the Crown of Kislev for 40 points. Enemies must reroll all successful wounds to roll against the wearer. Okay, that's pretty good. Scepter of Shoika, 75 points. The Scepter of Shoika adds a power and a dispel dice to the Kislev army in every phase. Oh, that's pretty good. Once per battle, the wizard can add +1 to a dice used for casting a spell. This can be used to cause an irresistible force. Very cool. Kind of a steep price though, but that extra bonus dice could really come in handy though. I mean, you never know when you can use a +1, right? Then we have Holy Icon of Miska for 25. It's a standard. This standard gives the unit carrying it +1 to hit in the first round of close combat. Pretty important to have. Not bad for 25 points either. And then we have Nijevsky's Screeching Back Manners. Okay. 25-point magic standard. Wing Lancers or Griffin Legion only. Any unit charged by the unit carrying the black banners and chooses to hold as a recharge reaction must take a panic test with a -1 leadership modifier. Okay, cool. You can really mess with your enemies and get them going. Pretty cool. Alright, so that makes up the magic as well as our magical items. So that being said, we're going to go now to their army lists, and we'll come back to do that. Alright, so let's talk about the Kislev army list real fast. So let's go over their points real quick and talk about their fighters. So we'll start with the Lords. Boris Ursus, that was the guy who rode the giant bear. It cost 350 points for him. Tsarina Katerin, she costs 400 points. She may exchange her warhorse for a war sled for 120 points. Oh, very cool. Tsar Zoltan, he may be mounted on a warhorse for 18 points there. Baba Yaga, she costs 280 points, and she may be mounted on the chicken-legged hut for 200 extra points. That's kind of steep, especially since it's flammable. Oh well. We have our Lords, the Miska the Slaughter. She is 350 points. She'll be mounted on a war sled for 120 points. But she already has a war sled, so why would she be mounted on that? I think that was a typo there. Then we have Igor the Terrible, 275 points. Maybe mounted on a war horse for 18 points. We have our Boyars, which cost 125 points, which are typical generals. They come with hand weapons and light armor. They can come with lance, additional great hand weapons, and great weapons, pistol, bows, and handguns. Light armor to medium armor. May take a shield. Mount on one of the falling. Oh, cool. You can put this guy on a bear for 55 points. That's cool. Warhorse for 18. 100 points of magic items. Ice Witch costs 150 points. Upgrade to level 4 for 35 points. Maybe mount on a Warhorse for 18. Can take magic items worth up to 100 points. Hag Mother, looks like she comes with 150 points. She can be upgraded to level 4 with 35 points. May take 100 points of magical items. High Priest of Ursoon. Oh, so this guy's a Lord character. That makes sense. 100 points for him. Hand weapon for 3 points. May take a great weapon 4 points. Comes with light armor and hand weapon. Can take a shield and mount on a great bear for 55. That's kind of cool. And it can take magic items up to 100 points. Very cool. Then we have our heroes, Tormir Lubovanson, which is, I believe that's the guy who's the leader of the Griffin, leader of the Griffin Legion. 195 points for him. That's kind of steep. Then we have Stefan Rayson. That guy's 100 points. I would say skip this dude. He's not maybe. Well, I don't know. It's only 100 points. That's pretty good. Then we have Ilya Morova. 125 points for him. And then we have our Hetman, which is our captains. 85 points there. Maybe upgrade to a battle standard bearer for 25. They come with light armor, hand weapons. They can get glances, additional hand weapons, or great weapons. They can be armed with bows, pistols, and handguns. May upgrade their light armor to medium armor, so that's kind of rough because you only get medium armor, you can't take heavy armor. May take a shield for 2, maybe mount on a warhorse or a great bear for 55. Nice. May take magic items up to 50 points. Then we have our Ice Maiden, which are wizards for 65, 35 for level 2, can take a mounted warhorse for 12, take 50 points of magic items. Hag Witch is 55, level 2 upgrade to 35, may take magic items up to 50 points there. We have the Priest of Ursoon. So those guys cost 65 points. That's pretty good, you know, especially if you get those prayers. They could take hand weapons for 2, great weapons for 4, shield for 2. Can't upgrade the armor though. Mounted on a great bear though for 55. That's pretty awesome. As well as take 50 points of magic items. Then we have our Kislev Ranger. That guy was cool. He's the one that got the heroic killing blow for the monsters. Can never be the Army's general. 85 points. Okay, yeah. So it looks like it take those magic items to 25 to 50 points. So taking those boots, those 7 league boots, that could really help them out, I think. Then we have, of course, our character mounts, which are great bears. We talked about that earlier. So let's talk about our core units. So we have our Kossars. Those guys cost 8 points apiece, 30 points for full command. May take a magic stand up to 25 points. Pretty cool there. Then we have our Gospodar Militia for 5 points per model. Full command is 30. May swap their halberds for spears and shields for free. I would stick with the halberd, man. That's gonna help you out. But they have no armor though. These guys have no armor either. That's pretty brutal. Hawks and Miska are core, really. Hawks and Miska do not count towards the minimum amount of core units you need to include. Oh, okay, never mind. They cost 40 points apiece. Then we have Druzhina. Those guys cost 13 points per model. These are fast cav guys, I believe. Oh no, these are the guys who are mounted. They're like your light armor, shield, spears. 30 points for full command, as well as 1 point per javelins. Okay. Then the Ungol horse archers for 14 points per. No armor for these guys though. Man, these guys have no armor. That's really rough. 30 points for full command for those guys. Winged lancers, 18 points. They got medium armor, shield. Full command cost 30 points, may take 25 points for magic standard. That's pretty cool. Then we have our special units. We have the Criminal Guard. Those guys have great weapons and medium armor as well. Those guys have 30 points for their full command. Magic stand up to 50 points. Griffin Legion are 22 points per fighter. Medium armor, lances and shields. 30 points for full command. 50 points for banner. Strelesti. These guys have halberds and handguns. That's pretty cool. But no armor though. Man, these guys have no armor. Okay, so they got 12 points per model, 30 for full command, 25 for magic standard. Chekists. Those guys cost 18 points per model. They have pistols. Okay, so that's what I figured. They have a pistol. Okay, so they don't have multiple pistols. So that's kind of rough. 30 points for full command, 25 points for magic. No armor. That's rough. So I'm starting to realize that these guys really don't have armor all that much. Ugh, that could be bad. Then we have the Brother of the Bear. Those guys cost 60 points per miniature. These guys are mounted on war horses, of course. They have light armor, spears, and bows. 30 points for full command. Can take 50 points with the standards. Siberian Hunters cost 11 point per. 10 point for their champion. Throwing axes, 1 point additional. Then we have Kvasniks, which are those guys who were throwing those Molotov cocktails. They're 9 points per unit. Bear Pack is 40 points. And now we go to our rare units. So the Sons of Ursun, those are the guys who ride the bears. Those guys cost 44 points per miniature, 30 for full command, take 50 points for magic banner, maybe armor lances for 2 points. That could be, yeah, you might want to get lances for these guys because they should be charging to combat. Then we have our Droiska. Those guys cost 12 points per miniature. Okay, so those guys were unit of 5 though, so those guys are pretty good. Then we have our War Wagon. Let's take a look what they got here. So they have 6 crew, 4 war horses, hand weapons. They could take, maybe armed with one of the following: bows, crossbows, or handguns. And be armed with one of the following: flails, halberds, and great weapons. That could be kind of cool. I could see you using this to defend your flank. Like, let's say you're fighting defensively and your enemy's coming to flank you. You could just drop your horses and just fight. That's pretty good. I can see that. That's pretty cool. Then we have the Uragan Cannon, which costs 85 points. Armored Warbear costs 160 points. So that's what we have for that guy. And that pretty much makes up your army list for this one. This is the new Kislev book for 9th edition Warhammer Fantasy, written by Matthias Eliasson for the Warhammer Armies Project. Overall conclusion, this is actually a pretty cool looking army. I like a lot of the rules these guys have, as well as the different types of units they also have available to them as well. However, I will give my overall impression. I think the Kislevs are like very much a glass cannon army. A lot of the units they actually have don't come with armor, and the highest armor rank they usually can come with is with medium armor as well. So these guys are kind of like Bretonnians in the sense that you want to play these guys in a very fast-moving, aggressive play style, but they're not like the Bretonnians because they're not as survivable as Bretonnians are. However, though, they do have that glorious charge ability where they can charge an opponent, break contact, and charge again, which I really like that. I think that's really going to help these guys out as well. I would not suggest this as a first army to be used because it looks like experienced players would do really well with this army. I think if you're brand new, you're gonna have a lot of problems just because of the army not having very much access to armor on that one. But they do have some good strength. They do have some really good shooting. They have a lot of diversity going on here. Their magic's also pretty decent as well, so that part is really cool. The only issue I can foresee when playing a Kislev army is sourcing your miniatures. I can imagine that being very difficult because Winged Lancer miniatures are not all that available anymore through Warhammer Fantasy. They've gotten rid of those over the years, so they'll be very, very hard to come by, and you can't get very many of them either. As for historical wargaming, you might be able to find some through historical wargaming sources, especially if you find like medieval or Middle Ages type of war, because the Kislev are, like I said before, based on Eastern and Central Europeans, and during the Middle Ages they primarily fought 2 types of foes. They fought Mongols coming from Mongolia, who were out invading half the planet, and at the same time you also have the Ottoman Empire as well that they fought against. For example, Dracula, Count Dracula, he fought against the Ottoman Turks, and he was from Romania. So you know, so if you can find historical miniatures, you might be able to get those. Now, as for the price on those miniatures, I really couldn't tell you. I know a lot of miniatures that do a lot of historical stuff like this usually come from Europe. So if you're playing in the United States and you're trying to source those miniatures from Europe, you will have to pay international shipping fees, which could be kind of pricey. I'm just going to give you guys a warning about that. So that could also be an issue. That's the only issue I really foresee in this army, is getting the miniatures for it. That's the only thing I can see. Now, of course, if you're like me, who's been in Warhammer for a while, and you have a bunch of Kislev army miniatures because you either played them in 6th edition or you had some of them from 4th edition Warhammer Fantasy, then by all means, you probably have a leg up on everybody else. But as for everyone else, though, this could be kind of a challenge to do that. But is it well worth it? Yes, I would definitely say it's well worth it. The rules are very interesting. You have a very cool army with interesting game mechanics as well, and so it'd be very cool to see that actually popping up as well. And plus, I also appreciate the fact that these rules are available for free from the Warhammer Army Project, so that part is also awesome as well. So like I said before, really cool army, really cool rules. Could be kind of hard finding miniatures for it, but then again, what army isn't going to be difficult to find miniatures for, especially for Warhammer? Hopefully they actually really bring these guys out in Warhammer the Old World. If they bring Warhammer the Old World back, hopefully they'll give us some Kislev stuff, especially since we've seen a lot of it pop up in the Warhammer Total War games. You can actually play those guys, so hopefully they'll bring some support for those guys, which would be kind of nice. Okay, so that's going to do it for this, you guys. As always, please feel free to like, comment, and or subscribe. Your guys' input is valuable to us as always. Also, check us out on Facebook, Instagram, as well as blogger.com for all the latest greatest hobby news related to this channel. That's going to do it for this week, guys. We'll catch you guys next one. Peace out and stay classy.